Welcome to this video on the basics of using the select command. My name's Andy Wicks, and in this video I'm going to introduce you to the very versatile select command. We're going to start off with the simple bits and then build it up over a couple of videos to become rather more complicated. So let's start. I'm carrying on with the second-hand bookshop example, and I'm assuming that by now there is data in all the tables. So let's carry on. I'm going to use the SQL tab here in PHP-MyAdmin. I'm going to use the SQL tab for some things that I could do more easily by just clicking on bits and pieces. But it's the SQL that is of interest here, not the use of PHP-MyAdmin. So the first thing I'm going to do is to introduce you to the most basic select command of all. Select star from bookshop title. It selects every field, star means every field, from the table bookshop title. So you say which fields you want first, and then you list the tables from which that data is going to come. So if I run this now, I get all the fields from the table title. Well, that was fairly easy, but there is a caveat here. Don't use the select star. Unless you're debugging a database, select star is reckoned to be bad form because it returns everything, and sometimes that isn't a good idea. You could be returning a lot more data than you actually need to. So a good programmer would make this slightly different. We'll go back to the SQL tab and we'll put in a new command. We'll put in a slightly amended version. Here we have select title, publisher ID from bookshop title. So it's going to go to the bookshop title table, and from there it's only going to display the title and publisher ID fields. This is much better because we're saying specifically what we want. Now if you're just checking a database to see what's in a table, select star is fine. You're developing, you're testing things, select star is fine. But if you're creating an application for something, always name the fields. So let's try this and see what happens. And now it just returns with the title and publisher ID fields. We've got a far better command here. So let's try another command. We'll make this a little more complicated. Again, I'm going to go to the SQL tab. And this time, the SQL command is only different by a little bit. It says select distinct title. Distinct means only give me those titles that don't appear anywhere else. So if we had two books with the same title, only one of those titles would appear. And in fact, if we run this, we get 7 fewer items returned than in the original SQL command. That's because there are 7 titles that are repeated. We need this for later on. A different command. What we're going to do now is get data from 2 tables, but we're going to do it incorrectly first, intentionally incorrectly, because this is a problem that faces a lot of people when they're starting out. What I want are the fields title, edition and price. And for that, I can't go to one table. Title is in the title table, and edition and price are in the book table. I therefore have to link the 2 tables. So I need both the title table and the book table to be able to get at the fields title, edition and price. Now if I run this, it looks as if it's worked, until you look to see how many rows it's returned. 307,450. Whoops, something's gone wrong. And what's gone wrong is that instead of selecting the ones where the title ID matches, that's the whole point of a relational database, is that you match tables on ID fields, it's done what's known as a binary combination. And as you can see, we've got the price here, £87.81, appearing in all the records. That's because all the records are repeating all the additions and all the prices, and that's not quite what we wanted. So how do we do it properly? What's the correct way to create this command? Well, what we have to do is to tell it that we want to have those tables linked. We need to tell it that it should select records where the title IDs match. Now here, what I'm doing is I'm using aliases. So bookshop title as T means that instead of typing out bookshop title each time and then bookshop book, what I can do is just use T and B to shorten it. So in the where command here, we go to the table T, which is bookshop title, and we select the title ID. And if the title ID in the title table is the same as the title ID in the book table, then we select that record. So what happens is that it creates the list of 307,000 and then goes through that and sorts out which ones have the title IDs that match. And if we run this, we now get 715 records. We get something that's much more likely to be correct. So that is a brief introduction to the basics of the select command. It's select, followed by the field names that you want, followed by from and any tables that you want, followed by any linking of tables that's necessary. We'll also come on to a few other bits you can do with that as well. Thank you for listening.